Hello, I'm Angela at Princewill, and today I want to talk to you about a question we get asked often here at AP Lawyers, which is, do I need a lawyer to represent me for my family law matters? Well, the short answer we always give our clients is no, you do not. The only reason why you should have a lawyer representing you is if the value the lawyer is giving to you outweighs the costs of legal fees. Legal fees do rack up very quickly, so you want to think about how much value you're getting for what you're doing. And the way to do this value calculation, one of such examples would be how complex is this matter? What is the result that I'm expecting to get? And even if I do get that result, is the cost worth the benefit that I will be getting at the end of the day? And I know that for a lot of times, issues are very emotional for people. People are concerned about the truth and right and wrong, but at some point you have to make this a business decision. In a sense, you are spending a lot of money, and if the result you're getting is not worth the cost, then maybe you need to look into other alternatives as opposed to having a lawyer working with you on a full-time basis. Another way is to, in doing this value calculation, is to look at the issues. If you're dealing with a spousal support issue, for example, how much are you asking for monthly? Depending on the amount and depending on the number of years that you will be getting this spousal support for, then it may be worth having a lawyer to make sure that the lawyer can establish the issues, the threshold issues of entitlement, for example, or how much you should get. But again, if you're talking about a couple $100 a month, then again you need to look at alternatives to having a lawyer working with you on a day-to-day basis, because even if the lawyer is successful in getting you the support, which is your right, the cost of having that lawyer may outweigh the benefits that you get. When it comes to property division issue as well, this is one area where I always strongly recommend people get a lawyer, especially when you're looking at, if you had property before getting into the marriage, or you received an inheritance, or, a substantial gift from a third party during the marriage. Without a lawyer, you could find that you lose tens of thousands of dollars that you could ordinarily have been able to save. However, if the issues again are simple enough and it's just, two people coming into a relationship with very little in the way of assets, and if your assets that you've acquired are pretty straightforward, then you probably can do your property division without requiring the assistance of a lawyer. Now, as always, we advise that whatever the parties agree to should be set down in a separation agreement. And there's always the question of, do we do this agreement ourselves or have a lawyer draft it for us? Again, you have to look at the value you're getting. Is the value I'm getting worth this? With separation agreement, I would almost always say it is worth it, because if for whatever reason we need to interpret that agreement years down the road and it's not written in a language that's clear the way a lawyer would probably do it, then you're looking at potentially spending tens and thousands of dollars down the road. And the cost of legal fees you saved at this time would probably not justify that. So you need to, ponder these questions. Do I just sit at a table, we've agreed to something and we draft it up? Or what's the language that you're using in drafting it? If it's a simple enough issue, well, is it could I be losing money by just agreeing to this with my partner versus having someone else, a third party, objectively look at it, and someone who does this all the time that could tell me the pitfalls? Again, if you're the person that perhaps has to pay either support or equalization, having a lawyer, while it might cost you a little bit up front, when you look at the potential savings, both maybe in your monthly amount of support, for example, or the duration, or even the deductions that you can get, you would find that it was an expense that was well worth it. So again, you have to look at the value that a lawyer will be bringing to your specific case and decide whether it justifies retaining one on a day-to-day basis to work with on your file. At AP Lawyers, we pride ourselves in the fact that we redefine the practice of law, and in line with that, we try to work with our clients in non-traditional ways. So there are alternatives to having a lawyer working on your file on a day-to-day basis. Call us and we can go through some of the options and the programs that we have available. We always love to hear from you.